Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is about OET exam. So OET stands for Occupational English Test. Now this is a requirement for ECFMG certification at this point, as the CS exam is discontinued for the moment. So let's dive straight into how to prepare for OET. We basically have 4 components in OET. You need to have at least a grade B for most programs. Now the 4 components of OET exam is reading, listening, writing and speaking. Now you have 2 choices. Either you can give the OET as a writing based exam, like a paper based exam, or either you can give it computerized. If you choose OET paper, it means that you are going to go to a test center and you're going to give the all the 4 exams, basically all the 3 exams on the paper. Like your listening, your reading and your writing part is going to be on a paper, like on a hard copy thing, and your speaking is going to be on the same day, basically in the same test center. For OET, which is on computer, you will have 2 days of exams. So one day will be for basically your speaking, which you obviously have to schedule on another day, because speaking exam is going to happen another day, and your rest of writing, listening and reading is going to happen another day. So computer based exam, you have to go to the Prometric Center and give all these 3 exams. Now there's also OET, which is on computer at home, but I don't know if it's working here in Pakistan. What I did was that I gave the computer based program. Now because on computer exam you have to type every answer and you don't have to write, so this is purely your personal choice, like if you're comfortable with just writing by yourself, or you have good typing skills, so you want to give it on the computer. Now the pros and cons I'll just discuss briefly is that if you're giving it on the paper, make sure that your writing is really good writing, because you don't want to kind of write in a different style that the examiner cannot read. So with computer, what happens, because there is like kind of a standardized writing, so it doesn't really matter, right? So whatever you type, it's going to be written as in a kind of a same format. And if you think your typing is way faster than your writing, then a computer-based program is also a good option. So again, it just depends on you as a person taking exam, that what is most comfortable to you. So I don't think there's any pros and cons to taking each of them. It all depends on you. My speaking test was on the Zoom meeting, and it was a great experience. I could just sit at home and my exam was taken by a person online, and with the computer based program I felt easy that I had to do only 3 exams on one day. So yeah, I chose computer based exam. Let's come to the resources that I used for my OET exam preparation. So for resources, I used their website. Of course, like you have to go to oet.com and you're gonna see the samples that are there on the website. So at that time I think there were 4 samples, so you can go and just go through the samples. You'll get an understanding of how OET works. Now this is not like the IELTS exam, which is like from the people that I've heard, because I haven't personally given IELTS exam, so I don't know that much. But people say that IELTS is far difficult than OET, because obviously it has it's like the normal conversational English, whereas this OET exam is more based around healthcare. And when you are going to give an exam, it will ask you that are you giving OET as a physician, or are you giving OET as a nurse. Even the themes that are going to be in the exam are based around healthcare. These are not going to be very from a generalized kind of situation. You can also give an exam online. It will give you a hint of how the real exam will work, like if you're choosing a computer based exam. So yeah, that can help as well. Another amazing honestly resource that I used was these videos by Jay. I think they were E2 OET, something like that. I'll just put that in the description box. So those were like literally the best videos that I watched for OET. And yeah, so this person is basically going to divide OET content into 4 contents, obviously writing, reading, listening and speaking. And I would suggest how you start preparing, or what is the right way of watching these videos, is that you start with the single theme. So first I would say that for 1 week or for a few days, just focus on reading. So you are basically reading the material and you're doing the sample questions related to that. Then when you are comfortable with reading, then go to the listening part, like listen to his videos, and then kind of assess yourself through listening, and then go to the writing part. So for writing part, you basically have to write either basically a discharge, either a referral. Actually, mostly it is discharges and referrals that have to be written. So for written thing, you have to take some guidance from other people as well. So I would suggest that if practice these writings with another person who has given the OET exam. So don't give your writing samples to someone who is preparing with you, because you will not kind of have an understanding of whether you both have written the right theme, because someone has to check them. So it's very important to, when you have done your writing assessments, that get it checked from someone who has passed the OET, because you want to basically know that what are the mistakes that you're making in the writing part. So then comes to the speaking part. Now for speaking, OET speaking part, you just need a partner. And if your English speaking skills are like you can speak a normal English, then it should not take more than 1 week to prepare for the speaking. Because if you practice, like you have a lot of samples online, and you'll get some samples even from the YouTube and all, and from the OET website. They also have, I think, 1 to 2 samples are there on their website as well. So you just need 5 days to practice at least 2 to 3 samples per day with someone, and again, who is going to be the someone who has given their OET exam. Now it's very good to prepare with someone who is basically giving the OET exam. Like you guys can practice with each other, but it's very important to also get valuable feedback, that whether you guys are practicing the right way or not, like because that's very important. Maybe you guys are just practicing and that's not the right way. So get it checked as well. So get a mentor or get someone who has given their OET exam, and they will just see 1 or 2 times that whether you are delivering the sentences properly, or whether you're making all the things correctly, right? You're using all those statements in the pieces. Total time for OET preparation, in my opinion, should not take more than 4 weeks. And again, I'm speaking from the point that if you can speak English, like mostly people do in the schools and colleges, like they have a basic understanding of English, and if your English is that much there, 4 weeks is just more than enough time for you to prepare for OET. But if you're someone who finds English to be a little difficult for you, and you can't really make sentences in a normal setting, then I would suggest that firstly you should watch some content which is English based content, reading a newspaper. That is going to basically open your tongue. So because when you are speaking or basically reading something and you're reading it loudly, you're going to get some kind of accent, and some kind of confidence is going to start. Go to a mirror and have a newspaper, any article or any book. Now why I'm saying newspaper, because newspaper has this kind of English that can be difficult. So it's very good to start with something that's absolutely difficult and you fail the first time, so that you know how much hard you need to work, right? So just stand in front of the mirror and start saying the newspaper out loud. This solely focusing on the writing, I would suggest that practice at least 2 writing materials every day, 2 to 3 writing materials, and get it checked by someone who has given their OET exam. For the reading and for the listening parts, and these are some things on the exam that go so fast, even these go way faster than your imagination. So you have to be very, very careful. A lot of practice is needed around listening and reading. Now if somebody asks me what was the difficult part in your OET exam, like what did you find to be difficult, I would say reading, because reading was something that I found difficult, because that the kind of content that they had on the exam was a bit way advanced, and quite the answers were quite masked inside the paragraph. So it's very important to do skim reading. Now what do I mean by skim reading? When you have a paragraph on your screen, it's there for very short time, so they're going to give you a few seconds and less than a minute to just read through it. So you have to, when you're reading the thing, you have to read it very fast, and you have to take the important details of what was written in the reading material, because in the next questions are going to ask you about that. Obviously that reading material is going to be present, but it's very important to use that time when it's given in the initial part of your reading. Just read and make notes in your mind, and so that whenever the question pops, you have the answer, way faster. Than how does that happen is that it's through practice. So for reading, I would say like practice at least 4 to 5 samples every day. And I'm saying all of these things in a context if you are preparing, if you're giving each week to each subject, right? Listening part, again, it's just reading. It goes really fast. Now you have to be very, very attentive. Now attention is the main thing in listening. So because it's going to be read only once, so the reading, the sound is going to come only once. So you have to be very, very attentive in listening to what the person said. For your listening to be really good, you have to understand a lot of accents. So for this part, I would suggest that start listening to podcasts, because what that is going to do is that you're going to be attentive listening to people, and you're going to be using a lot of, so it's very important to not miss the point. Now guys, I know that a lot of people think that preparing for OET is difficult, and people are scared of their preparation. They don't know when to give it, how to start preparing for it. But I'm definitely going to say that it's a doable exam, and you just need to have your attentiveness there, and you have to just trust your instinct and gut. So more than an English exam, it's mostly about your instincts, and it's about your attentiveness. So if you're able to develop it in your preparatory phase, it's going to be very, very easy for you to write that exam. And yeah, that's all what I need to say. Please let me know if I've missed anything in the video. I will be really happy to answer all your questions. So guys, see you in the next video. Bye.